Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm King Sway, and welcome back to King Sway Entertainment. Today we have How Good Are Monks, actually, by DnD Shorts. Uh, the reason I'm doing this is one, I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play it with my family, me and my kids, and we love it. I actually play a monk. Well, I multi-class, but that's just we're gonna get into my geek stuff later. I'm thinking about putting this on my D&D channel. So I'm gonna have it here on my main channel and another on my D&D channel. I'm thinking about it. We'll see what happens after I edit the clip. But monks are very powerful, and it says why the hate. So we're gonna see what this guy has to say, and I'm gonna let you see whether or not I agree with it.
Over the last 2 years, there's been a shift in online D&D discourse, by which I mean memes. Monks have overtaken rangers as the class that everyone makes fun of. In fact, they've kind of become known as the worst class in the game. But is that fair?
Hell
Look,
no.
I don't know about you, but it's hard to imagine a key-empowered, ass-kicking martial artist being bad. However, they are up against some stiff competition, like person in armor and person not in armor. So
See, he messed up right there. As I said, I play Dungeons and Dragons, and for a monk, you are at your highest armor class when you're actually not wearing armor. You get all kinds of bonuses for not having armor. You get dexterity bonuses and things to that degree. So yeah, nah, screw you, hippie.
Rather than just believe what the internet says, let's break these monkey boys down and find out how good are monks actually. Monk abilities! So to start, monks get a D8 hit dice, which is pretty low for a frontline combatant. Monks are martial artists, i.e. they throw hands. Having less health than fighters, barbarians, rangers, and paladins makes it hard for monks to compete in the tanking role.
The standard warrior is 1d10. Is a d10 hit die. The barbarian is a d12. Now, if a warrior only has 2 points less than a barbarian, and these both tank, why wouldn't a monk be able to tank? Considering the fact that, as I said, a monk probably straight off the bat is going to have some. If you do your stats right, some of the best hit armor class, and you ain't even wearing armor. So on top, and then I've only got 2 hit points less than the guy strapped down in plate mail, and he's got to strap all this stuff down just to match my armor class. Bitch, please.
That sucks, because if you punch someone, they usually try and punch you back. But, although a monk's hit points are pretty low, their saving throws are pretty good. To start with, monks get proficiency in dexterity and strength saving throws.
Hell
Dex
yeah.
saves are incredibly common, and being proficient with them only suits the monk's agile vibes.
Yeah, you
Sure,
roll
strength
with
saves
advantage.
aren't as common, but monks are still better than barbarians, fighters, and rogues when it comes to saving throw proficiencies. But speaking of proficiencies, monks don't get any. Or at least they get no shields, no armor, and very few weapons. This is tough. It basically locks monks into using monk weapons, the best of which is the quarterstaff, which can deal 1d.
Okay, as I stated early in the video, I multi-class. I usually multi-class. I have a character who we allow hella multiple. We allow up to 4. He's a warrior, monk, sorcerer, warlock. No, Eldritch Knight. Let me correct that. Eldritch Knight, sorcerer, monk, warlock. I couldn't think of the damn word. It's a whole backstory behind that. But if you get an Eldritch Knight plus being a monk, you're actually very dangerous. And I use the warlock thing because warlocks, their abilities can stretch into other fields, other classes. On top of that, if you are a warblade, I can't remember the actual name, a hexblade warlock, you can create a weapon off the top of your head and automatically be proficient with it. So you're just like, yeah, no. So there's that. Also, he says one of the things is monks have to. You get weapons, but I like to do the good old 1-2 combination, and you can have gloved weapons or gauntlets and things like that, and which you can do. What depends on your DM. What I do is, since you got 2 hands, a punch is a standard action. But if you're trained with them and you're proficient, I like to go, okay, well, since you're using glove weapons, there are 2 weapons, because if you're using 2 swords, that's dual wielding. Since you got 2 arms, that's dual wielding. And then it's kind of hard to argue against that, because the difference is your hand is the weapon. So you're dual wielding your arm, your fist weapons. So get something spiked so that you can do some good damage and call them dual wielding. Just
D8 for a double-handed bonk on the head. We're level 1 and we've already hit a problem. Monks are working with weaker weapons than any other martial class. However, monks get something that no other class in the game gets: martial arts. When you take the action to attack, you can follow up with a bonus action unarmed strike. This is awesome. In fact,
what did I literally just get out of my mouth? Dual wielding. Because you're dual wielding, you get, like I said, if someone's wielding 2 of the same weapon, in one in each hand, you're dual wielding. So now you're dual wielding fist weapons. And because you have the martial art trait, not only do you get to do 1, 2, you can do 3. So you got 3 strikes from level 1, as opposed to anybody else who can get a maximum of 2.
with this feature, monks are the class that can make the most attacks in the entire game, only overtaken by fighters at level 20. From level 1, you're attacking twice a turn at no cost. Sure, your unarmed strikes only deal a d4 damage for now, but you can add your dexterity modifier to every hit, and that damage die will only grow across the game. Also at level 1, you get unarmored defense.
Unarmored defense. And that's what I was talking about, having the guy who's heavy. He's got to clasp all this stuff on before he can even touch your armor class if you got your stats right. 2. Going back to the fist weapon, it's still a weapon. It's some DMs, because I've had this, I don't want to say problem, but I've had this discussion. It still counts as an unarmed strike, because, or like, whether the argument, if it counts as an unarmed strike and a weapon proficiency, or you can only do one or the other. Excuse me, beer. Power game, I'm not going to sit here and lie. So I try to get away with both. But if anything, I can do, just have it be a weapon proficiency until your damage gets to get up in time, and then you can discard the fist weapons or talk to your DM and see what they want to do.
Then you add your wisdom modifier to your dex modifier when calculating AC. You'll be starting at around 15 AC, it'll only grow, and you never need to buy armor. But don't let that fool you, this is kind of a bad thing. No armor means you need to constantly be bumping your stats to keep up. If you want a good AC, you need to invest every ability score increase into dexterity or wisdom, or you'll fall behind. That makes it harder to bump constitution, so you'll have even less hit points, and good luck if you want to take any feats too. Still, the martial arts ability means monks are looking pretty strong at level 1, attacking more than any other class. It's at level 2 that the problems really start. Key points! So key points are a resource monks get, representing the mystical energies you wield. You get a number of key points equal to your monk level, and you use them to fuel basically all your abilities. Think of key points kind of like M&Ms. You start off with 2, and anytime you want to do something cool, you need to eat one. And when they're gone, they're gone. At level 2, you have 3 abilities that use key points: Step of the Wind, Patient Defense, and Flurry of Blows. Flurry of Blows is awesome. After you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 attacks as a bonus action. Patient Defense and Step of the Wind are a little less exciting, letting you use 1 key point to either dash, disengage, or dodge as a bonus action and double your jump distance. Okay, this is where the reputation of monks being underpowered really starts to come through, by virtue of comparison. Because also at level 2, rogues get a similar ability, Cunning Action, letting them dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action for free. So on one hand, you've got monks who can do their cool thing twice per short rest and then they're running on empty, or you've got rogues who can do their cool thing anytime, for free, forever. Now, monks do get their key points back on a short rest. But the problem is that to keep up with the damage of barbarians or the utility of rogues, you need to be spending these, which means that after just 2 rounds, you've got nothing left. Plus, having to constantly choose between feeling underpowered or using one of your very limited supply of key points just isn't fun. But it's not all bad. Monks get unarmored movement at this level, increasing your movement speed by 10 feet. Simple and good, and it doesn't cost any key points. Then there's also a variant rule monks get at level 2. Dedicated weapon, designed to pump their power a bit. Bet you didn't know that, huh? Because I sure didn't. Basically, after a long or short rest, you can touch a weapon and boom, it is a monk weapon now, meaning you can use it. However, it's not quite that easy. It must be a simple or martial weapon, it must lack the heavy or special properties, and you must be proficient with it. Now I know what you're thinking, that's almost good, except monks don't have any decent weapon proficiencies.
Multi-class.
Well, yes, in a vacuum this is pretty lame. But if you multi-class, or you take any race that can get any weapon proficiency, like any elf thanks to Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse, this is actually pretty good. You can get proficiency in any weapon, giving you monks with battle axes, whips, long swords, or even guns. That's actually pretty cool. Now we can hit with a D10 longsword for our main attack using our dexterity modifier. That's the highest damage dexterity-based melee weapon attack in the game. At 3rd level, you get your Monk Tradition, aka your subclass. Let's not get...
This is where things get interesting, because I play the 4 elements. You can't see, I play 4 elements. I'm so far behind. I only have the basic stuff, the player's guide, the dungeon master's guide, and the monster manual. But as I'm saying, you can see it on screen. I play 4 elements, and you play 4 elements, and when you get the 4 elements and you choose that as your tradition, a great overlooked thing is it says you can control a square foot of one of the basic 4 elements. 1 square foot. And it doesn't say that you can't damage anybody. It doesn't say that. You could create a vacuum and choke somebody to death just by controlling the air around somebody's head. You can force air down somebody's lungs and make their lungs explode. You can just... as long as you got water, you've always got a weapon. Not that you need, just turn them into ice spikes and just keep going like that. Just earthbend, open up something and then trap somebody's foot. And unfortunately, you need fire to control fire, which means you got to do the Shyamalan version of firebending, which actually I'm okay with, considering that actually makes sense for Dungeons and Dragons, not for the Avatar. That movie sucked. They got everything wrong. But that's, yeah. So that's where my overpowered stuff comes into play. The 4 elements monk, and you know what you're doing, yeah.
Get bogged down here. None of them radically change what the monk is about. They just give you some utility and bonus healing or damage options. Also at 3rd level though, you get the cool as balls deflect missiles. Now you can use your reaction to catch a missile when you're hit with a ranged weapon attack. Then the damage you would have taken is reduced by 1d10 plus your dex modifier plus your monk level. If you reduce the damage to 0 with this effect, you can catch the missile and spend 1 key point to launch it back. Basically, if the idea of catching a cannonball and then throwing it back sounds cool, you're in the right place. Ooh, do you smell that? It's another really cool monk ability that uses key points, of which we have basically none. This is a recurring problem. We're all...
Yeah, it's a recurring problem also. You get to do that you get to catch for free. It's throwing back that costs. Now, That means anytime anybody shoots bows and arrows at you, and you just keep pushing them out the way and blocking them. A wall of arrows, no problem. And if you got dudes that are on a tower and you're standing there and they're shooting, you're just going. It's intimidating. Dudes just catching everything and just pulse bounce. Yeah, it's intimidating. Someone shoots a cannonball at you and you just catch it. And yeah, your body slides back, but you got it and then you just push it down or you drop it. And considering metal is part of the earth, you can actually earthbend that and shoot it back. Not that I've ever done that before. I'm lying. I have.
Already giving up an action to catch the thing, and then we need to spend a key point just to throw it back. That means to ever use this early game, you need to hold back on using Flurry of Blows, which means your damage drops off, just so maybe you can do something cool if you get shot. All I want is to use the cool abilities that monks have, but because ki is so limited, you just can't. There's another optional feature at this level too, ki-fueled attack. Now, if you ever spend a key point as part of your main action, you can make one attack with a monk weapon as a bonus action. Some monk subclasses, like the Shadow Monk, use a key point to do something, leaving your bonus action free. So this is basically a free weapon attack after casting a spell, if you're a Shadow Monk. That is a straight upgrade, as martial arts and Flurry of Blows require you to actually take the attack action to get the bonus action damage. Some later monk abilities make use of this too, so it's worth picking up if your DM allows it. Level 4, ability score increase time, and we're back to the problem of monks being multi-ability score dependent, or MAD. This is a serious problem. No matter what you buff, one of your attributes is going to be underpowered for most of the game, because monks require 3 stats to be good. However, bumping dex is probably the safest option because it ups the power of your main strikes. You also get slow fall at this level, letting you use a reaction to reduce any falling damage you would take by 5 times your monk level. That is a lot of reduction. A level 15 and up monk can jump from orbit and take 0 damage. And look at that, it didn't even cost a key point. There's also one more optional feature here, quickened healing. Now you can spend 2 key points, which is half your total key points at this level, to roll a martial arts die and regain a number of hit points equal to that number plus 2. That is an average of 4 hit points recovered at this level. And sure, it gets a bit better as you level up, but still, damn, that is a heavy key point cost for some pretty minor healing. But that is enough complaining. Level 5 is here, and it's time for monks to kick ass.
Hello there! Welcome to Britain. I am a British man, and like all British people, I love the taste of human flesh. But isn't it annoying when a jolly old tasty corpse goes rotten? The flesh is mouldy, the skin is flaky, it just looks bad. Well, fear not. Simply use Geology. Products perfect for keeping skin healthy and young. Why, the corpses you eat will look like they're not even dead yet. And lo, you can even use it on yourself. Look at me, I use Geology daily, and I don't look a day over 9 years old. Closing statement.
Geology is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare company. My favourite product is the award-winning eye cream, keeping me looking fresh and fuckable every day. Click the link down below for a 30-second quiz. Tell them about your skincare goals, like fighting acne or preventing wrinkles, and they'll design a regimen just for you, shipped straight to your door. Get an incredible 50% off your 30-day trial at geology.com. That's geologie.com for 50% off, link in description. Level 5, extra attack, boo. You are now slapping down 3 attacks, 4 with Flurry of Blows, every turn, more than any other class in the game. That's 2d10 plus 2d6 plus 16 damage if you can land all your hits with the longsword build. Also, nice, our monk unarmed strikes are now dealing 1d6 damage. Suddenly, that's not that bad. But the real juice here is Stunning Strike. Welcome to the most broken level 5 ability in the game. Whenever you hit another creature with a melee weapon attack, that includes your fists, you can spend 1 key point to try and stun them. They have to make a con save against your monk's saving DC, otherwise they're stunned until the end of your next turn. Look, you gotta understand how powerful the stunned condition is. A stunned creature can't take any actions, reactions, bonus actions, or move. They
Everything
auto-fail
hits.
any strength or dex save, and all attacks coming in against them have advantage. Basically, you just skip the enemy's turn if you land this. This is the boss killer, the DM frustrator, the most straight-up powerful monk ability in the game. And you can run it out as many times as you like, as long as you have key points. You can hit this 4 times a turn with Flurry of Blows. That's 4 chances to stun lock an opponent out of their next turn. Now yes, Stunning Strike does cost key points, and that sucks because we only have 5. But you've got to respect the power here.
Like I said, Elemental Monk. Stone is earth. Morph it, move it, trap something. Air is all around you. Moisture is all, unless you're in a fire, air and moisture all around you. Pull water, shoot spikes. You trap somebody. Like there's a. Can you tell I used to watch Avatar a lot? That and just elemental anime and stuff like that. Like I just elemental monks. They're great. Like you can, they're so freaking versatile. And it states 1 cubic foot of an element, you can manipulate it, and it doesn't say you can't hurt somebody.
You also get another option.
And because you can condense and shift, and you can create mini storms, you can use lightning. You're almost literally playing Avatar: The Last Airbender, or The Legends of Korra. You have metal on and don't use them as armor, but you use them like Kuvira did, and you metal bend. Like, and it becomes frustrating because unless something is really really pure, you can metal bend, and almost everybody around you is using metal. It's I've literally had people shift entire campaigns because I was playing like the Avatar, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're doing this." Nah, bro, trust me. And you just and you talk to the DM, and you go and you point things out, and armor crushes the person inside of it. Weapons snap and bend and break. Like, just nah. Unless it was something magical, I couldn't automatically do it. So yeah, there's a lot, yeah.
Optional ability, Focused Aim. When you miss an attack, you can spend between 1 to 3 key points to increase that attack roll by 2 for every key point spent. Look at that! Another ability that's great that we don't have enough key points to use. Okay, from here most of the complicated monk abilities are in place, so let's move quick. Level 6, your monk unarmed strikes are now magical, so you can punch Tiamat or a werewolf and actually deal damage.
Yep.
Level 7, Evasion. You take half damage when you fail a dex save against an effect, like a fireball, and 0 damage when you succeed.
Yeah,
also
at
level 7, you get Stillness of Mind, letting you use an action to end the charmed or frightened condition on yourself. This is a weird one, because if you're charmed by a creature, would you ever choose to end that charm effect? I hope your DM says you can, because if you can't, this ability sucks. Level 8, ability score increase. Pump dex to hit a little harder, or pump wisdom to land your stunning strikes more often. Level 9, you can now pull a Jesus and run across water and up walls. I'm pretty sure Jesus could run up walls, right? Level 10, Purity of Body. You're immune to the poison condition, any poison damage, and you can't get diseases. Level 11, you get a subclass feature, and your unarmed strikes now deal a D8. That's pretty serious damage. If you're any type of monk apart from the longsword build, you'll now be using your fists for everything. Level 12, ability score.
And that's where it comes in, using fist weapons. And you, like I said, you got to make the distinction early, because some DMs, a lot, it's either a weapon and you can use it in your dual wielding, or you gotta like figure it out, and it's still considered a weapon and not a fist weapon. Like, it's still
Increase. Once again, we're basically locked into improving dex or wisdom, but they should be getting pretty close to being maxed out by now. At level 13, you can understand any spoken language, and any creature can understand what you say, as long as they speak at least one language. It's theoretically interesting, but for level 13, I'd want something a bit meatier. Something like level 14, Diamond Soul. This is what we're talking about, people. You have proficiency in all saving throws, and whenever you fail a save, you can spend 1 key point to re-roll it. This even works for death saves.
Yeah.
This comes at a great time. At this point in the game, AC starts to not matter so much, because all your enemies are attacking with a plus 17 to hit anyway. All the really nasty effects monsters have are attached to saving throws, and you're the best class in the game at resisting them. You eat saving throws for breakfast. But I know what you're thinking. Great, another really good ability that uses key points, when we only have...
14.
Wait, 14?
14.
And they recharge on a short rest?
14.
Wait, what happened? We've got key points out the ass. We can use all our abilities on every turn.
And a short rest brings them all back.
Somewhere between levels 8 to 12, our key point problem sort of goes away. Because the cost of Stunning Strike and Flurry of Blows never goes up, everything basically gets cheaper the higher level we get. At this point in the game, we'll basically never run out. We have a bunch of great uses: Flurry of Blows, Stunning Strike, Patient Defense. They only use 1 key point each. The training wheels are off. Finally, it is fun to play a monk all the time, and we can use all of our abilities, but there's still more to come. Let's keep going. At level 15, you get Timeless Body. You suffer none of the effects of old age, apart from dying of it, and you can't be aged magically. You also don't need food or water to survive. It's basically flavor. I mean, it's cool flavor, don't get me wrong, but wizards can be literally immortal with the clone spell at this level, so it's, you know, it's alright. Level 16, ability score increase. Boom, we've reached the monk dream of having a 20 in both wisdom and dexterity. That's 20 AC, even if you're butt naked. The same as a fighter with full plate mail and a shield.
What did I tell you?
Level 17, subclass feature, and not gonna lie, these are the big ones. Shout out to the Open Palm Monk, who at this level can kill any creature that fails a con save and deal 10d10 necrotic damage on any creature that succeeds. 55 necrotic damage on a success is a pretty good fail case. Level 18, Empty Body. 4 key points, 1 action, you become invisible for 1 minute, and you resist all damage types except force. This is crazy. Think about this for a second. All attack rolls against you are at disadvantage. You can't be targeted by a bunch of dangerous spells and effects that require sight, and you resist all damage except force. Sure, our hit points are pretty low, but we're tanky as hell and making every one of our attacks at advantage. The only problem is it's at level 18, and seriously, how many games get to that level? You can also cast Astral Projection targeting only yourself at this level, but that's basically flavor. At level 19, you get the last ability score increase. Finally, you can pump your constitution, or you can take the lucky feat or something equally broken to round yourself off. Lastly, at level 20, you get Perfect Self. It sucks. Now, whenever you roll for initiative without any key points, you regain 4. Seriously, this ability could read, at level 20, you get nothing, you bald hippie, and it would be basically as good. Still, the real monk capstone abilities are the level 18 invisibility and the level 17 final subclass feature. Conclusion! So, how good are monks actually? Well, by the end of the game, they're really good. They've got a bunch of great abilities and the key points to fuel them. Early game, they're also pretty good. They get more attacks than any other class, and the highest damaging melee dex-based weapon in the game. So, why all the hate? Well, it's the key points. Most people play D&D between the levels of 1 and 10, and the monk key point system is, honestly, unbalanced. We have
like
way
12,
too few
14.
key points in the early game, and by the late game, you might as well have infinite. You just never run out. But fixing monks really only comes down to 2 things. 1, give them more key points early game. Instead of just having key points equal to your monk level, have key points equal to your monk level plus your wisdom modifier. That makes sense in terms of flavor, and it means early game monks will have 4 to 5 key points instead of just 2. It just pushes them over the edge, so they can actually use their monk abilities and enjoy being a monk. Secondly, give them some good magic items.
What I did for this is, my monk is a Verloka. Yeah, I know, 4th edition. We agreed that, me and my DM at the time, we agreed that I could use hit points as key points, and you're using life force instead of just spiritual energy to fuel your powers. But what he said is true about being infinite. Verloka are like living vampires. They're like Blade. And as long as I could feed, I could just get hit points back. And one of it is, when I killed you, you can't roll resistance, and I can just literally blood bend your blood out of you and into my mouth. But yeah, monks do need, or I should say, should get better magical items, because that shit sucks. Like, they don't have a lot of magical items. One of the things I did was I took alkaline metals, and I would actually charge them by condensing the air and creating a static field around them, so that every time I hit, I would be hitting, and it would be with a charge to it as well, so it was electric damage. But they need some stuff like that.
Give them magic items that give them extra key points. So, are monks bad? No. Are monks underrated? Yes.
Yes.
Are they, at high levels, arguably the best class in the game? No fucking way. Monks are just fundamentally less breakable than spellcasters and even other martial characters, despite sharing the spellcaster weakness of being underpowered in the early game. Still, if you play to their strengths and make the most of the optional features, they can be very strong and fun with a lot of late game power. I mean, seriously, just try and say monks are weak when you're stun locked on the floor getting fisted 4 times around. I've also made a bonus video where I build the perfect monk from levels 1 to 20 that's out on the Patreon right now for all subscribers, or it'll be out very soon if I haven't finished it yet. You can get access to that just by clicking up here or down there. But if you really can't afford to support right now and you really want to see that video, just drop me a DM on Discord and I will make sure you get it. However, if you can support for just the price of 1 coffee per month, there's a ton of awesome stuff waiting for you on Patreon, including other bonus videos. Remember to like and subscribe, check out other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, just barely got that. So, that's the video. You heard what I had to say about it. So we're gonna end it with that. Like I said, you heard what I had to say about it. So I don't really feel as though I need to add more to it. So do hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification button, and the bell if you guys haven't already. That means absolute world to me, and it doesn't cost you a penny, it doesn't cost you a dime, it doesn't cost you anything. But what it does is it lets me know you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, and it actually helps the YouTube algorithm push my content out to a wider audience so that I can entertain as many people as possible. Also, down in the links below, in the description below, are links to my merch shop and a variety of my books. So if you want, check those out. Please help support the channel, because that's how actually I get to be able to do what I do, and I like to actually do this for you guys. In the meantime, between time, I'm always with these peace signs. I'm King Sway, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.